Russell Wilson leaving the Giants is not just a quarterback update. It is Joe Schoen slamming the door on the old version of Big Blue. That is what nobody is seeing clearly enough. The official word is here. Wilson is gone. No re-sign. No second chance. No veteran safety net sitting in the background while everyone pretends the future can wait. This is not normal roster cleanup. This is a statement. The Giants are telling the locker room, the fan base, and the entire NFC East that the post-draft identity is no longer theoretical. Jaxson Dart is the starting quarterback. John Harbaugh is building the new culture. Schoen is cutting away sentimentality. And now every move has to match that vision. Because when a team removes the veteran name and hands the timeline to youth, the question changes fast. Is this finally the clean reset Giants fans needed? Or did Big Blue just remove the last cushion before the pressure hits? The past is gone. The new Giants are here. Let's be honest about where things stand. The holes are clear, and the pressure is immediate. The Giants could not keep living in two timelines. They could not tell fans Dart is the future while keeping Wilson close enough to make every mistake feel like a quarterback controversy. That kind of tension poisons a team. It turns practice clips into arguments. It turns every incomplete pass into a referendum. That had to end. But ending the Wilson chapter does not magically fix the roster. Dart is the starter now. That means the offensive line has to protect him. The receivers have to win early. The run game has to create manageable downs. The coaching staff has to build an offense that gives him answers before chaos arrives. The Giants also have to prove this youth movement is not just a slogan. Young players bring energy, but they also bring mistakes. A bold depth chart looks exciting in April. It looks different when the pass rush is closing, the crowd is restless, and the division starts testing every weakness. And this is where it gets real. The Giants are not just removing one veteran. The brief says Wilson's departure, alongside other key vets, reveals a bigger post-draft direction. That means the roster is being stripped down to fit the new blueprint. No sentimentality. No pretending. No hiding behind names from the past. The front office has chosen a lane. Now that lane has to produce. If Dart struggles, there is no veteran bridge story to soften it. If the rookies are not ready, there is no old roster excuse to hide behind. If Harbaugh's system needs time, the fan base still has to see direction immediately. That is the pressure. And that brings us to what just happened. The headline is simple. Russell Wilson is out, and the Giants are no longer leaving the quarterback room open to interpretation. That matters. The brief says the official word dropped this morning. Wilson is gone. No re-sign. No second chances. Here is the emotional translation. When a team makes that decision public, it is not just closing a contract file. It is telling everyone whose team this is now. It is Dart's team. And I like the clarity. Not because Wilson cannot play. Not because his name means nothing. But because the Giants needed to stop living in the fog. The worst thing a rebuilding team can do is keep one foot in yesterday while asking a young quarterback to lead tomorrow. That is not leadership. That is fear. Schoen is choosing something different. He is choosing a ruthless, all-in vision. The brief calls this a reimagining, not just a rebuild. That word matters because a rebuild can still feel like patchwork. A reimagining means the franchise is changing how it thinks. No more soft landing. No more emotional insurance. No more roster decisions made because a name feels comfortable. This is not cosmetic. This is the Giants admitting that a new quarterback timeline requires a new team around him. And Dart should benefit from that. Quarterbacks need clarity. They need the huddle to know who leads it. They need the staff to build every concept around their strengths. They need teammates to stop wondering whether the old guy might step back in if things get uncomfortable. That part is over. Now, Dart gets the job clean. But that also means he gets the pressure clean. There is no veteran shadow to blame. There is no backup storyline to hide behind. There is only the new Giants blueprint and the young quarterback sitting at the center of it. That is the extra beat fans have to understand. Clarity is powerful, but clarity is also unforgiving. Once the Giants make the room this clean, every decision gets judged through Dart. Does this lineman help Dart? Does this receiver help Dart? Does this draft pick help Dart? Does this depth chart make Dart better? Or does it just make the roster younger? That is the new standard. And when you look at what Schoen is doing beyond Wilson, the whole picture gets sharper. The Wilson move is the signal. The post-draft depth chart is the proof that this is bigger than one quarterback. That is the bridge. The brief says this new Giants identity is defined by a game-changing draft class, a bold depth chart, and zero sentimentality. That is the whole episode right there. Here is the emotional translation. A depth chart is not just a list of names. It is a confession of what the team actually believes. And right now, the Giants are confessing that the past does not get special treatment anymore. If you fit the new identity, you stay in the picture. If you do not, the name on the back of the jersey is not enough. That is harsh. It is also necessary. Big Blue has spent too many seasons trying to balance what fans remember with what the roster actually needs. That is how teams get stuck. They keep names too long. They delay hard choices. They sell patience while the product stays uneven. Schoen is not doing that here. He is building around the draft class. He is building around youth. He is building around Harbaugh's system. And he is building around Dart as the quarterback who has to make this whole thing matter. This is where the mosaic starts to make sense. The Wilson release gives clarity. The depth chart gives direction. The draft class gives the plan a foundation. Now the rookies have to justify it. Because when a team says the draft class is the blueprint, that class cannot just look exciting in graphics. It has to change practices. It has to change competition. It has to make veterans uncomfortable. It has to give Harbaugh players who fit the toughness, discipline, and physicality he wants. And there is another layer here. A bold depth chart does not only reward young players. It challenges them. It tells them, you are not being protected from expectations. You are being invited into them. That can accelerate a team fast. It can also expose a team fast. That is why Harbaugh matters so much. A youth movement without coaching becomes chaos. A youth movement with structure becomes identity. The G-men are not trying to be nostalgic. They are trying to be dangerous. And when you see how this connects to Dart, everything clicks. The proof is Jaxson Dart. Because every ruthless roster decision only matters if it helps the starting quarterback grow faster. Dart is not a side character in this reset. He is the reason the reset has urgency. Here is the emotional translation. When a franchise commits to a young quarterback, every other decision becomes part of his development plan. Wilson being out matters because it clears the room. The draft class matters because it has to support the room. The depth chart matters because it shows whether the organization is actually building a team that can function around Dart instead of just asking him to survive. That is the line for me. If Schoen releases Wilson, leans into youth, and gives Dart a real structure, I am in. If he releases Wilson and leaves Dart exposed, then the whole thing becomes reckless. Harbaugh's job is to make sure that does not happen. He has to turn energy into execution. He has to turn a young roster into a disciplined roster. He has to make this new identity feel real before the season starts punching back. And this is the part nobody is talking about. Dart does not just need belief. He needs a runway. A runway means protection that holds long enough for the offense to function. It means receivers who know where to be. It means a run game that gives him favorable downs. It means a defense that keeps the score from forcing him into desperation football every week. So yes, Wilson leaving is the symbol, but Dart leading is the substance. The Giants have finally removed the old cushion. Now they have to build the new support system. Hot take. Releasing Russell Wilson was the right move, and the Giants should not apologize for it. And I am not backing down from that. My prediction is this. Dart starts every game he is healthy enough to play this season. That number matters because quarterback development dies when a franchise panics after one bad stretch. If Dart is the guy, then he needs the room to become the guy. If I am wrong, I will come back to this video and own it. But I do not think I am wrong. Schoen is making the hard cuts. Harbaugh is building the identity. Dart is holding the keys. That is the cleanest Giants quarterback setup in years. Now, here is where I will be tough. If Big Blue chooses youth, then trust youth. Do not sell a new era and coach scared. Do not draft a blueprint and then hide it. Do not remove Wilson and then treat Dart like a temporary experiment. The Giants picked a lane. Now drive in it. Big Blue is back at the table, and this time the quarterback question finally has an answer. That is the episode. Russell Wilson is out. Jaxson Dart is in. Joe Schoen is cutting away the past. John Harbaugh is shaping the new identity. And the post-draft depth chart is telling every Giants fan exactly where this franchise is headed. Giants fans, pick a side. Are you ready to ride with Dart right now? Or do you think Schoen is moving too ruthless, too fast? No fence sitting. If you are riding with the New York Football Giants through every bold move, every roster shakeup, and every uncomfortable truth, you know where that subscribe button is. Go Big Blue.